To make it as simple as possible, it's being authentic. And I know that's kind of a buzzword where it's like, oh, what does authentic mean? But authentic means like letting people in. It was really easy in the old way to put kind of a show on and be like, hey, this is the Jess show and da 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 and do all that stuff. But people want the real you. They want to know who you are.
Hi, and welcome to the Loan Officer Team Training Podcast. I have a very special guest today, Jess Van Nuland. She is an amazing Instagram coach with the Forward Academy with Neil Dingra. And I just want to say thank you for being here, Jess.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me on.
So I am super excited to introduce you to everybody today. For those that don't know who you are, there's a lot of people that do know who you are. But just in case there's anyone out there that doesn't know who Jess is, she's the Instagram coach for Neil Dingra and the Forward Academy. And how we met was through the Forward Academy. So I went to a Forward event, and she'll tell you her story about how she went to a Forward event as well. And we met after I joined the Forward Mastermind group. And I'm just super excited to have her here because I have a bunch of questions that I'm going to ask her that I normally don't prepare things in advance, but I want to make sure people get a really good value from today. So tell us how you met Neil.
So I met Neil when I went to Forward in 2023. So it was about 2 years ago now, which blows my mind. I can't believe it's been that long. But went to the Forward event and I didn't know what to expect. There was a lot of hype around this event and it looked really cool. But I'm like, okay, what are we going to actually get into here? And I didn't know what to do. And I just went and like it blew me out of the water. I watched all of these incredible speakers, and Neil has this really unique ability to find people that you need to know and need to hear from without you knowing you need to hear from them.
Yes.
It's kind of a superpower of his. And so going to this event gave me the confidence just to go all in on myself and to start sharing what I knew with people. And then like 7 months later, he saw my video, my reel, and he reached out to me and said, hey, I want you at the next Forward event the following year. I'm like, okay, yes, sir, I'm coming. And he's like, hey, I want to meet with you in person. I'm like, sweet, awesome. We ran into each other and he offered me the job on the spot saying, hey, like, I want you to be the Instagram coach for the Forward Academy. And I, on the spot, just said, yes, sir. Like, let's go. I'm all in.
I
You're the reason I
love it.
started my business in the first place, and I will absolutely support the Forward Academy. And the rest is history, and it's been a wonderful journey.
Oh, that's so awesome. You know what I love about working with you, Jess, is that you take something that what some people feel is complex about Instagram, because I knew Facebook backward and forward, but I did not know Instagram very well. And you've helped me to those little nuances, those little things that you can do on Instagram. It felt complex to me when I first started doing it, and I resisted it for a really long time, even before I joined the Forward Academy. I was just resisting Instagram because, oh, it was too much to learn and too much. And I normally like to learn new things, but it was frustrating because I'm used to knowing what I'm doing. And it bothered me that I felt like, I don't know, I felt embarrassed that I didn't know how to work it and that I couldn't, because I've always been one of those people. I joke with my husband, and I told him one day we were putting together a crib for our now 9-year-old grandson, but we were putting together a crib at our house, and we were putting this new thing around it that we had never done when we had kids, and you had to get the instructions out and figure out how to put it on so that it would be ready when he got there with our daughter. And I told my husband, I was frustrated and he was frustrated. He said, oh, just put it together anyway. I said, no, I'm not going to be one of those grandparents that doesn't know how to work tech, that doesn't know how to work tech or try new things or say, oh no, let's just do it the old way. I'm not that way. And I refuse to be that way. So it was bothering me that with Instagram, I was so resistant to it. But I learned because you taught me, and a lot of the members of the Forward group have been the Forward Mastermind group have been amazing and taught me all the little things. And I still am not anywhere near being, even a pro at it or an expert at it, but it's fun now to learn new little things that you can do. But the reason I bring that story up is because you taught that to me. You patiently took something that felt complex and simplified it and gave it to me step by step. and with patience. Sometimes people will teach you things and they're like, okay, can't you get it? But you never do that. And I know that's why Neil asked you to be part of the group, because you have that patience.
Appreciate that so much. And it's just like everyone has the competence to do it. Like
Hmm.
there literally is no such thing as like a dumb question, especially when it comes to Instagram. A lot of things just aren't intuitive
Hmm.
and like it can be frustrating because it's just like, well, I just want to play, I want to hit post.
Yes.
Like but I need to know like what three other steps I need to take before I hit post so it's actually successful, right? And so being able to just kind of simplify it down and make kind of this almost of a monster of a mindset and making it like bite-sized pieces, that's the way that I've been able to help people and help you like go step by step. Like, and you have to do it many times, like the reps. Like, it's not just like I tell you one time on how to do something and I expect you to do it. Like,
Right.
it is a muscle that you have to use over and over and over. And like, oh, now I get it.
Hmm.
And then you get that light bulb moment. And then you have like this whole new sense of empowerment of
Yes.
just like, I can go do this by myself and I can serve so many more people.
Yes. And it's that way for anyone when they first start with any kind of platform, but especially with Instagram. So having other people around in the forward mastermind that know how to do all that and they're willing to share, and having you there, you're always at all of our group meetings, our mastermind meetings, and you're sitting there helping everybody, and you help the people that are newer to it and you help the people that are pros at it, because you always have ideas to give us. And I just love that about you. And you're always sharing things on your Instagram as well and giving it away, for free, just like Neil does.
Well, there's no gatekeeping. Like,
Yes.
there's no reason to gatekeep any information.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people get hindered is they're like, oh, I shouldn't give away this amount of information or this information. But when you break down all the barriers, like that's what social media is. You break down all the barriers
Yes.
and then you're social on that platform. There's no such thing as just like, oh, I'll give this and give that. Just like, no, I will literally tell you everything. And
Yes.
that's how you're able to grow.
And you're hoping that they will implement, but most of them won't implement with help. But that doesn't mean you don't give it all away. You want to help them and give it to them. That doesn't mean you can't control them implementing, but you can control teaching
Exactly.
and
Yes.
sharing. Yes. So I used to do video a lot. Back when I was originating many years ago, when nobody was doing video, I used to do video a lot. But I did it in the way, the old way. And now it's been a little bit more challenging to learn how to do it the new way that really works. So maybe you can tell us how the new way works compared to the old way.
Well, to make it as simple as possible, it's being authentic. And I know that's kind of a buzzword where it's like, oh, what does authentic mean? But authentic means like letting people in. It was really easy in the old way to put kind of a show on and be like, hey, this is the Jess show and da 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 and do all that stuff. But people want the real you. They want to know who you are, and that's why it's so important with this new way and why they added stories to show the behind the scenes and to share personal stories that you've been able to like grow and help people with.
Hmm.
So it's going from almost like a TV show, which is kind of like the old show, into the authenticity. And you don't have to introduce yourself every time because it's so accessible to figure out who you are.
Yes.
So, like that limited amount of time you have, for example, on a reel in Instagram is super, super valuable real estate. I mean, if we're talking about to loan officers and agents and all of that, like you just need to dive in. And that real estate, that 30 seconds that you have to possibly connect with someone on the other side of the screen is just invaluable.
Yes. And perfectionists are that's an obstacle to be a perfectionist, right? And that was
Yeah.
part of my problem is I'm used to being a perfectionist. Boy, if you could see what it was like when I first started doing video all those years ago, and my husband would record me and I would go, oh no, that's not good enough. Oh no, we got to start over again. Oh no, we got to. And he was so frustrated with me. He just said, Irene, just be yourself. And he was right. But I had, my hair had to look perfect. My makeup had to be perfect. I'm way past that now.
I'm so proud of you. That's huge.
Yeah. And in the summertime, I wear my hair up. So I'm going to be wearing my hair up in the videos. And, I live in Arizona, so it gets warm in the summer. But it's just going to be one of those things. That's authenticity too, is to not always look made up like
Yes.
you're going to be in a movie, or on a TV show or something like that.
Oh, 100%, because that's not what real people look like.
Exactly. Yes.
And then people won't recognize you when you are walking down the street. The whole point is to build real connections, and people are like, oh, I know Jess. That's what she looks like from the side, like on a normal day.
Yes, exactly. I shared a video to share a success story that you helped me with. And I didn't expect anything. I was just doing it because I wanted to share a really great success story. And people were really happy with it. I got a lot of good feedback, but I had two people sign up for my training because I did that video, because they reached out to me and said, I'm really interested how you got this success story with this loan officer. And I had two people reach out right away. So the first time I posted something the way that you and Neil told me to do it, telling a success story, that is the first time I actually got business from it. And I was just shocked. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm shocked. But it was great because I've developed great relationships with those two people. And then there were more after that, but I was just talking about that one video that did that. So success stories, tell us about how important they are.
Well, it's the real deal. Like it's showing proof. And Neil says this all the time. The proof is where that's where it's at.
Yes.
You need to share those stories because it's not just like talking about this wonderful transformation that's like a dream.
Hmm.
It's reality. And when you're able to share those kinds of stories, it brings people back down to earth. And it also builds connections with you because, like, building connections with people starts with telling stories.
Yes.
So that's how powerful that is.
Hmm. Telling stories. I mean, people used to sit by the campfire. They still do when they go camping, right? And they tell stories, but it's been around forever because that's how we connect with each other. And that's what I love about social media. They call it social for a reason. You're social with people. You don't just post something and walk away. It's like walking into a party and you talk to someone, they ask you a question, or you just say something and walk away from them. You can't do that. You have to engage.
This
Engage.
isn't Facebook Marketplace.
That's right. That's a good way to say it.
It's not like you don't just say, "Hey, is this still available?" and you ghost. It's totally different, and it's really cool. And people are starting to add voice notes and even videos and sending them to make it even more personal to stand out. So it's like it's cool to see this evolving because it's almost turning into like a little bit of a Marco Polo. If you know that
Hmm.
app where you do videos back and forth, because like there's so many things that are in between the lines with text and being able to actually develop and being intentional with different people when you're being social on social media is huge. Because then you're able to say, like, no, I really want to get to know you.
Yes.
Like, I really want to help you.
You know what's interesting about that is you can actually have conversations with famous people in the DMs. And when you comment and they comment back, yeah, people could say, oh, that's somebody doing it for them. But you can tell when it's not somebody doing that for them. They see you, they talk to you. You know what? My daughter, I'm just going to tell you a story about somebody famous in our world, at least. So my daughter and son-in-law love this singer, and his name is Andrew McMahon. I don't know if you know who he is. A lot of people do. Some people don't. Well, we've been going to his concerts for a long time. She introduced me to him when she was in college, and not introduced me, but she told me about his music when she was in college. And I've followed him, and he has this song called Swim. And it's about swimming through, that you keep swimming no matter what. You keep swimming, and it's called Swim. And that song got me through some really hard times just listening to that song. And the same for Nicole, for my daughter. And so she just loves him, had never met him or anything, but loved him. And she was the one that told me, you can DM him, you can tag him. This was years ago. And so one time we are in California and we're in San Clemente. And so we're sitting there, and I went, look over there, Kevin. Am I mistaken, or is that Andrew McMahon sitting there? And he was there with his family. And I said, oh my gosh, no way is that him. I said, Nicole is going to die when she sees that he's here and she's not here. Anyway, long story short, I ended up going and introducing myself. I waited for him to leave because I didn't want to bother him, right? And I just told him about Nicole and how excited she would have been to meet him. And anyway, he wrote her really on the back of his not his bill with his credit card, but the back of the actual receipt.
Yeah.
He wrote her a note and happy birthday and that kind of stuff. Anyway, they have developed a friendship over the years. Whenever he came to New Mexico and where she lives, the whole family went to go see him. I mean, it's just been a big thing. And then just recently, the thing that I really is the reason I'm bringing this up is because whenever he goes to a town or to a city, for last year at least, or the year before it might have been, he opens it up and says, is there anyone that wants to come up on the stage with me? I'll bring one person up on the stage. And guess what? Nicole worked through her fear of being rejected and all of that stuff. And she sang the song. She plays the piano and she sang, and she sings really well too. So she sang the song Swim and she sent it to him, and he called her up on stage. And he told her in advance, you won, you're coming up on stage. And she got to sing that song with him that means so much to all of us in the family. And that would have never happened without social media, without him actually answering his DMs and engaging with his fans. It would have never
Oh, it's
happened.
huge. That's an incredible story, especially with how much meaning was behind it and how much it meant to the whole family. That just shows like how much people care too.
Yes.
Like no matter how famous they get, right?
Yes.
Like they're still people, and there's still good people that want to be with their fans, that want to support their fans and build those connections. And
Yes.
social media is just such an incredible tool at everyone's fingertips.
Yeah.
And working through that rejection, like the fear of rejection, of just like sending a DM and being like, hey, I appreciate you. Like something like that. Genuinely. It's so cool.
Yeah. And it's social. They call it social media for a reason. So engage. The way you engage is with DMs, direct messages that are only to them. You can comment on their posts. They comment on your posts. What other ways are there to engage on Instagram?
Yeah. Another really great way to engage is actually to engage in someone's stories.
Because then they get the response personally, right?
Hmm.
It doesn't go to everybody.
Exactly. So it goes right from what they share publicly to what they did in their story. And they took time to make that. And so then you comment on it, but you're not starting from a salesy point. You're commenting on, for example, if they went fishing, they say, you can respond and say, hey, I went fishing there last year. My husband and I love going there at least once every couple of years. Do you remember this one fish place where you would go eat afterward? Have you tried that?
That's a great way to engage. Yes,
Like, but not like you're not making something up, but you're building a real connection
exactly.
with that other person. Like, you wait and you can be patient, be like, wait for something you can engage with.
Hmm.
And then it's all about intention and being aware of like how you can carry that conversation in a way where it's not like full of fluff.
Hmm.
Because people can tell right away, especially now when they get reached out so much.
Yes. And it has to be, like you said, it's not full of fluff and it's authentic. It's
Hmm.
real. Just like they would if you saw them somewhere, you would react the same type of way, except not like you're seeing some star or whatever. But I've always believed that people that are famous should have their privacy. I don't like to go up to people that are famous. I had to push myself to go up to Andrew McMahon and talk to him. My husband kept saying, go ahead, Irene, you're going to regret it if you don't talk to him now. So I didn't do it in a way like, oh my gosh, that kind of way. I just was very authentic about telling him how much I appreciate his music and how much it's meant to us and that type of thing. But that's it. You can do that.
I love that. And it just, because people pour their heart into their work,
Yes,
whether it's a musician, whether it's Neil putting on forward, like, and he responds to his own
he
DMs.
does. Yeah.
Like, I responded after to the 2023 event where I'm like, my world is changing. I'm diving in full steam and betting on myself for the first time. And I texted him, I messaged him that afterward. I didn't expect a response
Hmm.
because like there were thousands of people that wanted to be his best friend like after
Of
the event.
course.
I'm just like, I'm just gonna send him a note just as an appreciation. He responded within 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's amazing. That forward event, my first one was in 2022. It totally changed my life. It came at the exact right time that I was trying to make some decisions about what I wanted to do moving forward. That's why he calls it forward. And it came at the exact right time, and I heard exactly what I needed to hear. And I listened to Ed Milet speak, and I totally connected with him. And I was with a friend of mine, and I couldn't stop crying. I was like heaving, because what he said connected, and it gave me exactly what I needed at that moment, along with the other speakers too. But Ed Milet's was the one that hit me the most, because it was what I needed to hear right at that time. And it helped me see what my purpose was and who I was. And it was like a validation of what I was trying to do at the time. So Neil just knows how to get the right people in the room. But the fact that he has you for the Instagram coach is a real feather in his cap too, because you are so responsive to everybody. And I never expect you to respond immediately, because I know you have kids and you things, and I don't ever expect you to respond, but you're so good about it. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate you. It's so true.
It's a lot. Like, and it's always coming back to like our hearts in this. Like,
Yes.
it's not work. Like, it's genuinely what Neil wants to do,
Yes.
what I want to do, what Ed Milet wants to do. Like, and that's what creates this really cool atmosphere and
Hmm.
support system, because it's not just like tick in, tick out, hourly. This is like our passion.
Yes. Yeah, it really is.
Do you have a loan partner who does the loan consultations, structures the loan, and converts the buyer to work with you? Or maybe you have a loan partner or a team member that you would like to move into that position so that you can be freed up to go get even more loans. How about a newer loan officer who could benefit from some training in how to convert buyers to work with them? Our client conversion training is very specific to this role. It will help them convert even more clients to work with you and your team. We help you to be seen as a trusted advisor. We cover every aspect of converting clients to work with you. They're going to learn emotional intelligence, what it is and how to utilize it. They'll discover the key to a success mindset. Yep, we go deep on this one. How to build rapport right from the first conversation. How to ask the right questions. How to answer objections. Specific dialogues and strategies to overcome rate shoppers. They're going to practice live with other class members. And they're going to also learn how to ask for and receive referrals. How to master the loan consultation with loan strategies that help the buyer make great decisions for their future. Client conversion training will set your team apart when they implement the training that they're going to receive in our class. It's a virtual interactive class on Zoom with live trainers, and your team members can attend from wherever they are as long as they have audio and video. Everyone participates. It's a 10-hour live class divided into 2.5-hour sessions from 9 to 11:30 on Thursday and Friday for 2 weeks in a row. Sign up your loan partner today at loanteamtraining.com. You'll find the class on the Client Conversion Training tab.
Tell us some of the benefits, the types of posts that you can do. There's reels, there's regular posts, there's stories, there's live. Maybe walk us through each one and the benefit of each one, or how we should use it or why.
Yeah. So I'll start with stories since we were talking about stories already.
Huh?
Stories are the best way to nurture your current existing following. You get to show like behind the scenes. Like, for example, if I was smart and filmed something right before this, right? I would film like turning on the lights, maybe cleaning up my desk, moving the light so it was actually in the frame, like all these little tiny things that people might not think about. So I would do that in the stories. And then with reels, that's the best way to actually reach new people. So a lot of people are like, how do I grow my following? It's going to be through reels. That's why Neil focuses on that so much, and why we spend so much time on the video content and how it's changing, different trends, different audios, how to do voiceovers, like all of that stuff. So that's how you're really going to grow your following, is reels.
Because people will see those reels that are not followers.
Exactly.
Tell us about how the algorithm has changed so that you don't have to have a lot of followers in order for people to see your reels.
Well, it's huge because Instagram wants to help people with smaller audiences. It used to be that like it was almost monopolized by people that had big followings because Instagram knew that that's what people wanted.
Mm-hmm.
However, it suppressed a lot of people, so it switched with the algorithm where it'll actually give smaller audience, like smaller following accounts to actually reach more people. And it's been a wonderful way to really diversify and really push people to be more creative because they're giving more of an audition with larger groups of people.
I love it because it's really helped me because I don't have that many followers. I was hardly even using Instagram at all before I joined the Forward Mastermind last July. So I don't have that many followers and I haven't tried to get followers. I've just been doing video, but it works. I've gotten more followers than I started out with. It's almost doubled.
Yay! Congratulations!
Yeah, thanks. And I have put no work into trying to get followers, just doing what I do every day. And it's kind of fun for me being new to it and not having this massive following. I have a good following on Facebook, but I'm talking about Instagram right now. That following was so small that I was really concerned. I thought, is this really going to work? You know, it's such a small. And then when that happened, that was a great thing for people like me. It wasn't great for the people that have huge followings, I guess, but it was great for people like me.
Well, it's cool because like it gives you that chance. And then
Yeah.
it makes the people with the big followings, they can't just like coast. Now they have to be a little bit more creative because there's more competition really to get in front of more people. So it's actually, I think it's a huge advantage for everyone because it's a skill set that you have to keep practicing and changing.
hmm And there's a lot of creativity involved, isn't there? That's what I have fun with. When Chris Doe came from the future, he came to our forward, he comes to the forward events. He's going to be there again this year. And he came and spoke to our mastermind and we got to, have breakfast and it was really fun getting to know him. But they talked about how we lose our creativity as we get older. We start out with our crayons and our markers and our painting and everything like that. And then little by little, we're told to draw within the lines and keep up with the way everybody else is doing things and be part of, the community that you're in. And that happens to kids in school. Well, it definitely happened to me. And I forgot what it was like to use my crayons and my markers. And I never did like to paint, but I forgot what it was like to be creative, to actually come. And I'm finding that it's super fun now to come up with a creative idea. And so I'm thankful to Neil and to Chris for teaching me that, how important that was to start being more creative. When I was in elementary school, I was told by a teacher that I was not a good artist and I wasn't creative enough. And I guess I believed that because later on in my life, as I heard someone mention that they were told that by a teacher, it hit me. I thought that's exactly what it was. But you know what I found out? Years ago, I found out that I am creative. I'm just not a great artist, or I'm not creative in the way that other people might consider creative, but I am creative. I'm creative in creating businesses. I'm creative, in all these different things that we can be creative in. And now I'm having fun being creative in a different way on Instagram because of you and Neil.
Isn't that crazy the impact that teachers can have on us so
Yes.
early on?
That's why it's so important that we say good things to our kids, to the people that we're around. And that's what you do. You spread this light around everywhere you go. And I just am really excited to have you on the podcast because I really feel that way. It's true. I like to make people feel good, but I don't do it unless it's real. Like I'm not going to say something just to make somebody feel good if I don't really feel it. But I do feel that way about you, Jess. You have a light about you and a patience and a smile that never ends. And that doesn't mean, I'm sure you have your hard times and your bad times and stuff, but we never see them.
It's just like, I think that going through like the hard times, like you know how good it is.
Yes.
So like you go through, and I've gone through a lot of, it was more mental shifts that had to happen to get to where I am now.
Uh-huh.
And like, it's amazing. Like I went through therapy. Like I think that everyone should go through therapy
I think
personally.
everyone should.
Like it's so important to get an outside opinion on things that you're thinking and thinking about yourself. And like, oh, I am really low, like mentally. Like it's easy to put a smile on your face and do all that stuff. And I did that for the longest time, putting on a show. And then I had to revisit and hit all of the things, the pain points, and work through all of that. And so now that I'm on the other end, I'm sure I'm going to have highs and lows. I mean, that's what life is.
Yes.
Like you're not going to just keep going up. There's going to be bumps in the road for sure.
Yes.
And I'm learning every day. but like being truly in love with where you're at
Mm-hmm.
and the progress with where you're going, not just as a career, but also where you are with your mental health
Mm-hmm.
and where you are with your family, with your spouse.
Yes.
Like that, you're the filter, and people can see that. And we were able to work through, and that's what shines. Like it's not just me, like it's my fam. Like I have a picture of my family behind me. My husband made this painting behind me. I have my grandma's painting right here. Like I have my grandma's watch. Like all of the things that have created me and the light that you talk about, like all of that is everyone else around me
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't do it by myself.
Yeah. Nobody does it alone.
Mm-mm.
When people say self-made millionaire, self-made business person, no, nobody is self-made. Somebody helped you get there, and you need to be grateful for that. And gratitude is a big part of what gets us through and helps our mental health.
100%. Like, especially with like having faith too, because I'm a
Yes.
Christian, and it's all of it. That's the foundation. And
Yes.
you have to have that strong foundation to continue to build up.
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad we're talking about this, because I was going to ask you about how do you work through fear? And I always ask everybody that. How do you work through fear, and how do you keep yourself going when times are rough? So how do you work through your fear? Like what specifically do you do to try to keep yourself not letting fear get in the way?
Yeah. Well, it's hard. Like it's not,
It is.
it's like I had a reel that I posted. It took me 2 years to post it, but it was the moment where like I was at my rock bottom and like I'm just going to do this. Like this is the change that needs to happen because I love being comfortable. I love being in my house. I'm an introvert. Like I am very happy in my office right now. I'm
I
not
am
going to lie.
too. I feel the same way. I love being here. I love being out with people, but I also love being here in my own comfort area.
Yeah, and I like I have the structure and all the stuff, but like working through fear, one knowing that my husband has my back no matter what,
Yes.
and that my faith is strong, and like really what the worst like what's the worst that could happen? Like actually, what's the actual worst that could happen? And working through that and like, well, could I live with that? Yeah, I could live with that. And then I push through. And that's really how I work through that.
I love that. I read a book many years ago that I've shared with people over the years. Dale Carnegie wrote a book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And he talks about that, about what's the worst that can happen, the very worst that can happen. And I read it at a time where I was new in the mortgage business. I wasn't getting loans. Nobody was training me. It was an awful, awful time. And I was just this close to giving up. And I'm so grateful I didn't. But I read it and it made me see things from a different light and realize he talks in that book about compartmentalizing things.
Mhm.
Put them in compartments so that you can move on. And it was like a big game changer for me. So I love that you brought that up, because that is how you do it.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was the right reaction, but like my grandma was a really big mentor of mine, and I looked up to her. Actually, all of my branding is all from my grandma. It's like her favorite colors, everything. It's all from her and live like continuing her legacy. But when she was on her deathbed and I was with her holding her hand, she said, Jess, like the first time she remembered me in 10 years, she said, Jessica, like I'm afraid to die. And I'm like first of all I was comforting, like I was just like grandma, you're doing great, you're doing wonderful, we're all here for you, everyone's here, we all love you, like all the things. But my takeaway from that is like I never want to get to the point where I'm on my deathbed and I'm afraid to die, because like I want to do literally everything I can, and I want to do everything to help other people, and like I want to make sure that I literally give it my all. And sometimes it ends up with me just laying on my bed and sleeping in my day clothes. And I do have the best pair of jeans that you can sleep in, by the way.
Proven them.
Side note.
You proof positive, right?
Proof positive. I do have the jeans. Like if you need to sleep in them, I have them for you. Message me later. But like I genuinely like go back to that moment pretty regularly of like, well, I could just take it easy. I could just kind of lay back today. But like, am I giving it my all? Because we don't know if we're going to have tomorrow. And not like in a sad way, but like God put us here and we're here to do something really cool.
Yes. Yes. That's what Ed Milet talks about. You're here to do something very special in your life. That is not exactly how he says it, but you were born to do something great. That's what he says. You were born to be great. And when he said that, it validates people. It really does. And it's true. It is true. We were born to do something great with our lives. And it's different for everybody. I love that you shared that about how it gets you back up again. That doesn't mean you don't take rests. We have to rest. We have to rest and recover. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like just getting back up again, no matter what is happening, no matter what fear is going on in our lives, we have to keep moving forward. And having good self-talk, like switching our self-talk when it's not good, is a big habit for me that I've had for many years. And I teach people how to do that as well. And it's so important that if you're saying something and you know that it's not a good thing to be saying to yourself because you're repeating it over and over again, you switch it up and change it to the opposite. And you keep reiterating that to yourself. And it really does change things.
100%, especially when you're presenting yourself on social media and
Yeah.
you're videoing, like when you have a low self-talk, no matter what script you use, it's going to convey on video. There's
Yeah.
nothing to hide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you just have to practice good self-talk and repeat it every day and it'll get better and better.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's okay to be genuine though. Like when your eyes and your mouth match,
Yes.
that's when you're being genuine.
Yes. And you
And
can
so even
share
if you're
when you have
yeah.
hard times too.
Oh yeah, when you're going through something, they're like, "Man, like this deal fell apart." Like I definitely should not have gone that route. And like but I learned from it. Like there's a lot of strength from we would call maybe a flop that you can earn from it, but sharing it too, because then like it's again no gatekeeping. You're not just sharing the wins and the highlights. That's again the old style. But the new style is showing both sides. And that's what develops trust. And that's that authenticity. And that's that conversion when you share that story, like you did with the mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
Because you shared that story and then that increases the conversions and you got those two people.
Yes.
And that's where traction happens.
So when we're talking about posts compared to reels, I know when you create a reel, what I've learned is that when you create a reel, it shows up as a reel, it shows up in your feed on Instagram, but the words are at the top of the reel. It's kind of hard to read all the words when it's just a reel, but when you post, I don't know the difference. Tell me the difference of why you would use a post instead of just creating a reel that turns into a post.
So the different strategy with that is like a reel is just pure video. Like it's usually just one video.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to do like a post with a video in it, the best way to do that is doing it with a carousel. And that's with multiple images. You can do pictures and video, and people touch to interact. You get touches.
Uh-huh.
The more people, exactly. So the more someone interacts, a viewer interacts is really positive.
Mm-hmm.
And then also with that carousel, you get two auctions with one audience person. And so you have one up and they're like, oh, I don't really like that. I'll scroll past it. But then later that day, your same content will pop up, but it'll be the second picture.
I did not know that.
So you get a second audition when you do carousels.
I didn't know
So
that.
so then that's like with what Neil's going through recently with doing like the notes and the different Twitter things, you get double the chance of actually having someone interact with your content.
That is great to know. See, now that's one takeaway that I'm taking away today. I knew it was important to do carousels, but I didn't know exactly the reason why. And I always have to know why. For me
That's
to do
why.
something, I have to know why. Now I do. So you'll be seeing some carousels from me. I am creating some carousels anyway, but now I'm really going to do it because I want to make sure that they have a second time to create a relationship with somebody. No, that's great to
Love
know.
that.
How about when you just post one static picture as a post, not a reel, with just one picture? How is that different?
So it usually doesn't come across as a reel. It just comes across just as a static picture. So it's on your grid and everything, but when you go to your reel grid, it won't show up.
Okay.
And so with one static picture, usually when you do that, it's kind of like a very personal picture, like an anniversary
Mm-hmm.
or like your child being born, like something like that. Very authentic and in the moment and more of a connection piece.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if you want to do something like that, that would be the best way to go, not a like open house
I
or
see.
something like that, because it's just you're going to get the fastest swipe you've ever seen. Like just going through. It's, and you don't get even a second audition, just like whoop, it's gone. So that's
Yeah.
why you see really low results on those types of static posts that people
Okay.
do.
How about if you post something and it's a video that you're posting, not a static picture, but it's a video? That doesn't turn into a reel if you do it as a post, does it?
It might. It depends on, like, sometimes it's inconsistent, which is interesting.
Okay.
And so if you do it as a post and you do a video, sometimes it will go into a reel almost to like test it
Okay.
in the reels. But I've seen it as mixed results from different accounts. And even if they have the same settings. So a lot of times when people have the same settings, not everyone's Instagram account is made equal, which is probably one of my bigger pet peeves of Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Like trial reels, some people have them, some people don't. There's a few things. So yes, it can correlate into a reel. And the whole point of that is Instagram's trying to get people to stay on Instagram. That's
Yes.
its whole concept. So it's going to put that piece of content where it can, where they think that it will get the most reach because it will get people on Instagram.
I see what you're saying. Okay, so that's why. Tell us about trials. I didn't have that on my questions, and I wanted to make sure you answered that for us. Tell us about trials.
Trial reels are really cool. So, especially if you have a business creator account. So, you have to make sure you have those two settings on your profile in order to have access to that. But it's been something that Instagram's been rolling out slowly, and that's why not everyone has it. But the whole point of having a trial reel is you're able to post something that doesn't show up on your grid. It's kind of like a test, but it's only sent out to non followers that Instagram thinks will like your content. So, contrary to when you post something, your followers see it right away. And it's like almost tested with your followers that like 20% of your followers see it. So not all of your followers will see it, but it's like the test pool.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it does well, it goes to the bigger test pool. It does well, it goes bigger, and then it goes to more non-followers. But you skip that with the trial reels. And then you can eventually share it to your grid if you want to, if it does well, and then you show your audience and it keeps all of the views that you've already accumulated through the trial session.
Love that. Yeah.
But you don't always have to.
Neil's been talking about trials for a while, and I do have it available to me, and I haven't done it yet, so I need to.
You can even, if you have it and you have content that's worked in the past,
Mm-hmm.
a huge hack that you can do is you can take the content that's already worked really well and you post it as a trial reel because your current following's already seen it. But if you got one or two profile activity like follows from it, see if you can use it as a trial reel to amplify those results.
Excellent. I know exactly which one I'm going to do now.
Yay, I see your wheels turning. You know.
I just need the info, and I'm going to go forward and make it happen. So tell us about live, Instagram
Mhm.
Live. What's the difference there with who sees
So
it?
lives have been interesting. So it's been changing a little bit. Lives initially are like where you're just very in the moment. A lot of people did lives because it showed up on your stories and it pushed you up.
Mm-hmm.
So it made you more visible. However, that's not happening every single time. So it's actually discouraged a lot of people from doing lives because just like, well, that's the point. Like I wanted to have all this cool stuff
Mm-hmm.
where people it pushed me forward so people saw me more often so it was more top of mind. So that was the whole concept behind lives. But now, like for example, what I've been doing is I've been interviewing people on my lives. So that's like my version of my Instagram podcast
I
because I
love
can then
that.
share it to my profile and people can see it and it's shared as a reel.
Yes. Oh, that's great. But it's short, right? It has to be short still. Or no, the lives can be as long as you want them to be. Then you just it's shared on your grid.
So that's where it's interesting. It doesn't have that time limitation.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually try to keep it to maybe 10, 15 minutes tops because when people are in the mindset of Instagram, it's very like squirrel. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yes, it is.
very short-lived. It's not YouTube. So 15 minutes is like an hour in Instagram time.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, during COVID, the singers, the musicians that came on Instagram Live and performed right from their home or they played the piano. I have several that did that, at least three for sure. And Andrew McMahon was one of them. Ryan Tedder, he was in One Republic. So he was
Yes.
on there, and it was so entertaining to see people live talking about what was going on in the moment and how it was affecting people that they knew, and then playing music. 'Cause I love music. And so I'm forever loyal to those people that did that on an Instagram Live because they didn't have to. They could have just not done it at all, but they kept their fans going by doing Instagram Lives. So I just love that.
And
I've
it comes
never
back
done a
to the
live.
heart and like the power of social media too. They don't have
Yes.
to do that. They're so big.
Yes,
Like they're
exactly.
household names.
Yes.
But then when it came down to it of just like, no, but I want to be there for my people.
Yes, that's what it was. Ryan Tedder from One Republic, him and another guy, they were locked down together in their studio or home or studio. I don't know what it was, but they were on quite often during COVID. And I watched them and loved it. And it was so great just to see people giving their time at a time where nobody could be together.
Yeah.
It was really great. So
That's
that's
when we
what
needed
live
music.
does. The other question that I had is how do you get more engagement on your posts? What do you do to get I know you can engage with people, but how about the things that you do? How can you create more engagement from other people?
So before I hit post, I would ask myself, like, why would someone comment? Like, instead of like a call to action, like, what would like stir them up to actually write a comment? Because it's almost hard for people to do at this point. And so that's going through my thought process when I'm creating content. I do a lot of informational things like step by step, and a lot of people will say, oh, that was super helpful. That's awesome. So I get that engagement.
Mm-hmm.
But when I want to do something a little bit different, I share like a personal story because a lot of people will then chime in and say, I did that too, or I remember when my mom did that. And like, then it creates that social atmosphere without like, so tell me about your experience.
Yes.
And so that's why those personal stories are so impactful because it causes organic engagement. And so that's a big way that I do it is I share personal stories, funny stories, because my life is just silly and funny. Like I don't take myself terribly seriously, and I'm okay laughing at myself. So I'll tell a few stories that are like, well, like last year I probably wouldn't have shared that, but this year it's like I'm here to connect with people and I'm going to share the silly story.
Yeah.
So like that's where I go to, and that's a really easy way, especially when you're starting, is to share a personal story with someone
Mm-hmm.
because that'll create that really organic commentary in the comments.
And people can relate to what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that
Exactly.
are that have experienced that or are in the same boat as you are, like you're a young mom, you have that going on, you're a businesswoman and trying to get work from home and all of that stuff. So people can relate to that, even if that's not where they're at. They can still
Or they
relate
know
to that.
someone that is. They're like, oh,
Yes.
I have my friend do that. And that's where it's like, I might not work with someone that's commenting, but I might work with someone 2 degrees away from their sphere
Yes.
because they remember I talked about gardening
Huh?
and it might come up in conversation. It's a
Yeah.
really cool, powerful strategy that anyone can use.
Yes. And the fun thing about all of the strategies is that we still get to be who we are and connect with people. And that's the whole purpose, is to be able to start relationships, build relationships, and really connect with people. And that's what I love about social media. And the other day I posted something. You couldn't hear me talking. It was when I was at Content Day with Neil. And you couldn't hear me talking, but I played it and I was telling the story about how you see it one way, but you didn't see me before when I was looking down at my notes, making sure that I was gonna say the right thing, and how I was nervous and it was hard and I was working through fear and all of that stuff. And one person said to me, answered on there, one person said, I can't hear what were you saying kind of thing. And one person from high school, it was so funny, long time ago, but we're still in touch. She said, "Are you running for office?" And I said, "No, I'm not running. I'm just connecting with people that I know. I'm not running for office." Just being real about how sometimes it gets hard to create videos and things and you have to get out of your comfort zone. But
It's real though.
yeah, it is real. But people don't know if they're not in business doing content. Sometimes they don't know why you're posting that stuff. But that's why it's important to explain it. She just didn't read it. That's all.
But that's like you're on the cutting edge. See how you're getting that attention though? Because you're on the cutting edge of creating this video where other people are like, wait, why? What's the value behind it? But you're forward in the forward group where we're showing you all of the cutting edge stuff, like between different tactics you can do with the video and with AI coming up. And a lot of people are just like, no, AI, what are you talking about? But like AI is the new Google.
Yes. I
You
use AI a lot to Google stuff.
But
Yeah,
it's like it's the newest tool to make you
it
so
is.
much more efficient. And that's why we talk about it in the group because it's like it is a video thing, but then we're also like AI. Like
Yes,
let's grow businesses together. It's the coolest community of people.
it really is. It really is. And the Forward event is sold out now.
Yes.
But if anyone is interested in going to it, they should still reach out because you don't know if somebody at the last minute can't make it or that type of thing. There might be, tickets available because of that. But it's going to be such an amazing event. I can't wait. And I get to see you there. And I'm so excited. So reach out if you are still interested in the Forward event and didn't sign up in time before it got sold out. Still reach out because there might be some tickets available. So, Jess, tell us where people can connect with you. What's your Instagram handle?
Yeah, people can connect with me at Jess Van Nuland. It's a long last name, so but I'm sure Irene will spell it out for you guys.
I will. I'll put it in the show notes.
Wonderful. But yeah, I respond to all my own DMs just like Neil. And I would love to see all of you guys at Forward, in the mastermind, in the Forward Academy. Like,
Yes.
we have this huge group of what is it? It's over like 1,000, I think, at this point. It's absolutely incredible at the Forward Content Acceleration Program where you get to like have a group coaching with Neil himself,
Yes.
like every 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's really
And it's
great.
affordable.
Very affordable and really good. And he focuses on the newest trends, the newest things that are happening. And it's just a great group. In the Forward Mastermind, we are in the mastermind and in the content accelerator. So we're in both groups. And I just love it. It's been the best thing that I've done in a really long time. And I'm grateful. I am so grateful to you for being here. Thank you so much for taking your time. And I hope we covered some things that will be really valuable to people, just little things that we talked about Instagram that might help someone. So thank you, Jess, for being here. I sure appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Irene. It's been amazing.